We've just got off a cruise, but this time we went upmarket. That's better, we're looking the part, as we've just got off Queen Mary too. But how did we find it? Was it a 20-year-old rust bucket with terrible food and entertainment that lacked? Or was it a unique cruising experience with excellent service, delicious food, and some great entertainment? Well, there's only one way to find out. Welcome along, my friends, to the 4B's Queen Mary review. Caviar, please, Rachel.
Before we get on to our review, let's let you know how we review our cruises. We give them a score out of 40, and each category is a score out of 5. We look at the embarkation, the ship, the cabin, the food, the entertainment, the service, the destination, and the value for money. And here's a quick look at our leaderboard. Seaview is at the top with 33 out of 40. Anthem, Iona, and all the way down to Virtuosa with our last place on 23 points. So let's get underway. Kick things off with embarkation. We embarked Queen Mary 2 from the Mayflower terminal. There is 5 terminals in Southampton. You want more information? Wow, we've got a user guide you'll find on the channel, and it's also in the corner. What do we think of this embarkation? Well, it was pretty organised, to be fair. There was plenty of staff outside of the terminal. Very friendly, took your bags off, and we didn't see them again until the afternoon, as standard on cruises. The Mayflower, it's a little bit dated, but it works, it's functional. Once inside, the staff were excellent, really friendly, plenty of staff on hand. We went straight to the check-in desk, no real waiting. Checked in. Ernest had a little bit of a turn, and the lady behind the counter was excellent, just carried on, was really friendly, so top marks to all of them. After check-in took around about, I would say, 10 minutes or so. Then we sat down in this area. There was a gentleman that was on the microphone. I thought he was going to do some Sinatra. He never did, but he did keep us informed. And then after about another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we headed over to security line. Through security, once again, top marks to the staff there, and we were through and onto the ship. I reckon it took around about 30 minutes from taxi to being on the ship, and there was a lovely welcome on the ship. Mayflower Terminal, first time I've gone through the Mayflower Terminal, pretty impressed with that. The only one gripe, and it's a gripe that I always talk about, give Cunard Carnival some money to get a proper app which you can use off the ship to check in, and then you can use it on the ship. If they spent the money like other cruise companies, check-in could be even easier. So for that reason, I've marked it down by 1. But all in all, a good experience. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Before we went on Queen Mary, I had this strange notion that I would walk on and it would feel like an old people's home. It would feel like cobwebs, it would just feel dated. And do you know what? That couldn't be further from the truth. I absolutely loved the ship. It was traditional, it was unique. Don't forget, the Queen Mary is a liner, so it's built to be doing those transatlantic, which it does half the time throughout the year, as well as its world cruise. But it's a ship, a liner, the last and only liner in the world. And yeah, I loved it. So many things I loved about it. It gave me a 1920s type feel, especially when you're at the rear, but in a good way. But when you're actually inside of the ship, I found it modern, traditional, beautiful. I love the planetarium, the Queen's room with the afternoon tea. We'll talk about the afternoon tea soon because that was delicious. The lobby, the walkways, the Britannia restaurant. Britannia restaurant is the restaurant was for our cabin. Obviously, if you're in the Queen's Grill and the Princess Grill, you also have your own restaurants, and they were beautiful as well. Outside on the deck, the aft from deck 6 to 12. Wow. You tell me if there's a better aft at sea, and I'll tell you you're wrong. No, but if you do, pop it down in the comments below. But once again, on a beautiful sunny day like it was when we were filming this, it's great. At the front as well, a lot of ships now are very inward looking, especially ships like Royal Caribbean ships. You're looking inward. I found that Queen Mary is just looking out everywhere. Up on deck 12, stunning views to sea. You've got the lookout, you've got the Commodore Lounge at the front. There is possibly about 4 or 5 places at the front where you can look out to the front of the ship and see where you're going. Whether it's inside or outside, or you can look down the side of the ship as well, which I was really, really impressed with. Docked it just half a point, maybe a little bit harsh. It was edging on to a 5 out of 5. There were some places they were keeping things up together, and a lot less than I thought it would be. I thought there'd be a lot of places where we think, oh, it's showing its age. And it's only due to the fact that it's due a refit in a month or two. So after November 2023, I am very confident that it's going to be knocking on to the 5 out of 5. But all in all, we were really impressed with Queen Mary 2. And I would urge you, if you haven't been on, it's a ship, it's a unique liner that you need to head on. So for us, it is a 4.5 out of 5 for the ship.
That was delicious. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. We've got more coming from Queen Mary 2 and plenty more cruise content in the future. It's completely free and it really helps us out. From the 4Bs, it's a thank you.
The cabin. We had an ocean view cabin, which was on deck 4. What do we like about the cabin? Well, the space, lots of space, especially for a family of 4. This is what it looks like when you've pulled the beds down. But generally, loads of space in front of the desk. Loads of space for your clothes. There was plenty of cupboard space. Drawers. P&O, please take note. There was drawers here, which Rachel celebrated. And the beds were very, very comfy as well. Probably one of the best beds I've slept in at sea. What didn't we like about the cabin? Well, those lights, those ridiculous lights. What's the point in having an ocean view if you can't actually see it because you've got massive lights? So hopefully in the refit, those goes to more practical lights. We didn't like the fact that the bathroom is a little bit dated and there was a shower curtain. So those were our small points which we didn't like. The whole room was a little bit dated. So again, hopefully when there is a refit, it will be improved. But in general, we quite like this room actually for an ocean view room. Just to mention as well, you do get a little, well, let's say sparkling wine in your cupboard when you first arrive. And the plug sockets, all important, are American and British plug sockets. We'll give our ocean view room on deck 4 a 4 out of 5. Food, glorious food. What do we like about the food? Well, we liked plenty of things about the food. We'll start in the King's Court. King's Court is the buffet, open for breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, oh yes, dinner, and even for your late night snack. For breakfast, there was plenty of variety. So the King's Court is split into 2. Towards the forward, you do have the main area where you've got pretty much a bit of everything. That's your main place to get your food. And then there's loads of tables in between, and then towards the aft you have, I would say, a more fun area. So in the daytime it had hot dogs, burgers. In the morning it had pancakes as well as your fry-up. Pizzas throughout the day. So those are the 2 parts. The one towards the aft is slightly smaller. But going back to breakfast quickly, as cooked breakfast, fruit, pastries, pancakes. Love that. Breakfast was of quality in the King's Court. For kids, throughout the day there was juice. Amazing. If you've got kids, and on other lines it gets stopped at breakfast time, juice available throughout the day. Well done, Cunard, on that. Ice cream machines as well, so you can get your whippy throughout the day. The kids love that. We are about to do a video all about is Cunard for kids, so we'll go into more details on that. Lunchtime, your normal selection, but it was all very fresh, even things like Chinese food, sushi. You also had your regular pizzas, burgers. There was donuts, there were cupcakes. Actually, those donuts and cupcakes looked amazing. They were a little bit disappointing. The main dining room, yes, excellent. I was falling out of love with the MDR after recent trips on MSC and P&O. Excellent. We'll talk about the service in there in a minute, but as far as the food goes, there was a kids menu, general stuff, but of pretty good quality, I would say. And then the meals, Good choice on the starters, dinners. There was vegetarian choice. I seem to have variations of beef throughout the 3 nights. And this steak was absolutely gorgeous. Puddings as well. Always tried 2 just for research purposes. But the quality was there. Yeah, really good experience. I love the atmosphere in the Britannia restaurant. Also, food-wise, Queen's Room afternoon tea, not to be missed. 3:30 every single day apart from embarkation day. There's claps as the waiters come out, and then it's endless sandwiches, endless scones, endless tea. Oh, it was truly amazing. I could have sat there all day if I could. Service was top-notch in there as well. A lot of times I'm quite disappointed with afternoon tea. I was when I went to Epicurean and paid extra for it. The scones were perfect. I ate all the cakes. Oh, I could talk about this for hours on end, but I won't because I've got the rest of the video to do. We also, just quick mention, we had our breakfast in the room service, and that was good. Yeah, there was loads on offer there. It was nice and hot. There was pastries which were fresh. So as you can probably tell, really, really liked the food on Queen Mary. There was also the veranda, which is the steakhouse. We were only on for 3 nights. We didn't get a chance to check that out, but it's $50 per person. And there's alternative dining as well for $25 in the King's Court. Part of it gets turned into an alternative dining in the evening. So you've got other choices, but I don't really think you need them. Maybe you will do on a week or 2-week cruise or transatlantic, but big thumbs up. And I can only give it a 5 out of 5 for the food on Queen Mary. Service. Go straight to the point. Big 5 out of 5 for service on here. I was very disappointed on our last trip on, Arvia with the service. And once again, when you criticise service, you're never criticising the workers. We all know they work really, really hard, absolutely non-stop, probably harder than I'd ever work in my life. But it's all down to training, and it's all down to the feel of the ship. I felt on Queen Mary 2 that people on board wanted to be there. Whether they're good actors and actresses, I don't know. But you always get the feel that they wanted to be there. They were friendly. It was always a good morning. They were always helpful. They knew their jobs. The waiters and waitresses in the restaurant, they were friendly. They knew the menu. Service was just to a point. One evening, the waiter was really good with the kids, and at the end, he made them a paper aeroplane with the menu which they choose the food off. Really small things like that, but make a massive difference. The service on Queen Mary 2, well done to the whole crew, a 5 out of 5. Just a quick side note about the dress code on board. We had 2 smart evenings and 1 gala evening. On the gala evening, most did dress up. I'd say 90% did dress up. Everyone looked absolutely fabulous. On the smart evenings, it is recommended to be wearing a jacket. I did wear a jacket. But don't overthink the dress code. Some people didn't dress up. Some people were on there for a month, and they could go, for example, into the pub in the evening, and they could eat in the buffet. The whole feel on board didn't feel snuffy at all. There was a nice, relaxed atmosphere. And don't forget, in the daytime, there is no dress code. As long as you're not wearing anything offensive or anything wet around the ship, you're absolutely fine. So whatever you do, don't worry about the atmosphere or the dress code. Entertainment on board on Cunard. So in the daytime, you had your normal program, things like there was table tennis games, there was quoits, there was shuffleboard, competitions every single day. There was the fairways, which is your interactive golf and other games. There was talk. There was also a Shakespeare show, which Rachel and Alice quite enjoyed. There seemed to be quite a few quizzes. We didn't manage to catch a quiz. As I said, we're only on for a limited time. But there was, all of it's down in the programme, so make sure you take a look. But I would say daytime entertainment was pretty good. Yeah, there seemed to be lots going on throughout the ship. If we're talking about general entertainment, if you want to entertain the kids, there was the pools. It was a beautiful day. There's also the indoor pool, which it was so beautiful, it turned into an outside pool as well. So for the whole family, or whether you're singles or couples, I would say quite a lot going on. Maybe not as much as P&O, but definitely more than MSC that we had this year. For kids, there is the Kids Club, and once again, we will feature this in our Cunard for Kids. But the kids went to Kids Club. There was In the evening, there was the theatre shows, which we enjoyed. Rave On, which is 50s and 60s music. A lot of the entertainment was centred around that generation. Rachel and I do enjoy 50s and 60s music, but we did say that perhaps as you move on for Queen Anne, will the entertainment need to be made a little bit more modern? I don't know. What's your thoughts on it? Pop it down in the comments below. There was also a Broadway show, which was excellent. One thing I would say with the theatre shows, they were very, very good, very, very enjoyable. Everybody got involved. Around the ship, throughout the evening, there was plenty of bands, there was plenty of music, plenty of piano playing. 4.5 out of 5. Just maybe a little bit more wow as we head forward.
More relaxed mode now. Don't forget, we're on socials. We're on TikTok, we're on Threads, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. That's the other one. Find us Cruising with the 4Bs.
Our itinerary was departing on Friday. Then we had a day at sea. The day at sea, because obviously Le Havre you can get there in 6 hours. We actually went all the way down the coast to Plymouth and came all the way back. Loved that idea. Then we headed to Le Havre. We had things to do on board, so unfortunately we didn't get off. Le Havre is not one of my favourite destinations. I would have preferred to go to somewhere, maybe Zeebrugge or Cherbourg. So that's just really our own personal choice. We gave a 4 out of 5. What are your thoughts? Where do you like to go on a short cruise? Value for money, what did we pay? So we went on this 3-night cruise. For an ocean view standard cabin, we paid just over £900. We spent £260 on board on drink and other small gifts, so we spent around £1,150 on our 3-night cruise. Did we get value for money? Well, we did. Regards the food, the entertainment, the whole experience, yes, 100% we got value for money. The drinks were on the little bit of the high end. We gave it a score 4 out of 5 for our 3 nights on board Queen Mary, giving it a total score of 35. 35 is our score, and that heads straight to the top of our leaderboard, knocking off Seaview off the top spot. We can't wait to try Cunard again, and I'm sure we will do very soon. And we've got a very special cruise on Cunard next year. Thank you for watching. At the end on the screen, very, very shortly, you'll see it is our ship tour of Queen Mary 2. What we've just been talking about. So take a stroll. You've got 20 minutes around this beautiful liner.